Why should I go to Prince EA's menu and eat there and you are also a poet like him? Why should I choose another guy? Actually, no, let me go just nuts here. He's your skin color. He's as good looking as you are. And then I go watch him, but I don't watch you. So you see, I do feel that African poets need to get louder.
If you're familiar with the education system in Africa, then you know how important it is for any student to score a grade A or B in their academics. Unfortunately, that leaves their talents behind. That athlete, that musician, that artist, that writer, all that beautiful stuff that they carry has to be shoved in the back burner. My name is Magdalene Kamau Otieno. In this program, Moola From True Love, we aim to find out, could we make any money? Can we make a living from our talents? Welcome on board.
So welcome to the 4th edition of Moola From True Love. That's what I call the program where I speak to people who I believe have a product that seems to come from an inborn talent or something that they're really, really passionate about. So you're my 4th guest. And I'm curious to know you because one, now we don't even have a common language other than English. And number two, it's that you're actually in a different country. And calling you from Kenya is a bit awkward because I believe it's easier when you talk to someone who's rather close because you kind of can pick common language. But in your case, it's very different. You have spelled something on your website. You say that you're Asiimwe Sam Ruhindi from Dui, Rwanda. And I'm wondering, is that somewhere in Rwanda?
Yeah, I'm in Rwanda, Kigali. Like, you saw that on my website?
Yes. Funny, your about page. I went through stuff.
You went so. Come on, why would you talk like that?
Because I needed to know who I'm speaking to. So I tried looking around for Zambia and I couldn't see any Zambia in your website. It says Rwanda. So the person who gave me your contact is actually from Zambia. Very funny.
Yeah. I think that person, I think we might have met in a certain poetry WhatsApp group. Yeah. You meaning Ndui Rwanda? This is like Ndui. It stands for I am from. Oh, yeah, I'm from.
Perfect.
It's Kinyarwanda mixed with English, kind of.
Oh.
Yeah.
Now that makes a lot to happen.
It's like the way I can say, mtoto wa Kenya.
There you go. You actually got a little Swahili there. I'm so surprised. I didn't expect, but hey, look at what can happen around Africa.
Well, we are in East Africa, and nasema kidogo Kiswahili.
Oh, wow. Finally. No, I'm the one being warmed up here. I'm the one being warmed up because I'm surprised. I actually didn't know that. I didn't expect you to know that much, but now that you say you're from Rwanda, that makes it possible for you to pick a bit of Swahili. So, unaweza kusema Kiswahili?
Kidogo.
Kidogo sana. Perfect. I am so thrilled. Shall I give you the opportunity to introduce yourself in this case?
Oh, well, like as you said, my name is Asiimwe Sam Ruhindi, and then my stage name is Samie. I like to call myself an artist, though some people think artists are those who do maybe painting, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Art is wide, and I do it in different forms. One, I do it through poetry. Two, I do it through theater performances. And the third way I do it is through photography, which is digital art, I can say. Yeah, so that's why I like to call myself an artist, because, I live my style, seeing things in artistic way. Sometimes I like to boost myself, introducing myself. So like, yeah, I'm an award-winning poet.
Of course, I saw that somewhere. Oh, how can I not? Yeah, I saw that. You see, you're an award-winning poet, you're a photographer, you're a writer, and I'm like, oh, this one is a package right there. By all means, you're an artist for real.
I've got 2 awards in poetry. I got my first one in 2016.
Yeah.
And, it was Kigali Vibrates with Poetry. So I was the best English poet for that season 10. And my second medal came in 2019.
That was last year.
Yeah, last year. It was about poetry for peace. Still, I grabbed that one as best male English poet. So.
Whoa.
Yeah, and then I kind of put poetry and spoken word like on hold, okay, but not completely. Though I always tell my friends that, you know what, I'm retiring from poetry. Like, no, you're not going anywhere.
No, once a poet, always a poet. It's like being a soldier. Once you're in there, you don't get out. I mean, you could say you're taking a leave, but you don't get out.
Like, so far I have 4 recorded audios, and I have other that I'm planning to record and then maybe share them out maybe at a certain time.
Is this written poems? Or, I mean, are they poems? Are they what exactly are you writing when you say you write?
Yeah, I do write them and keep them, but sometimes I do share. Yeah, I do share some. Yeah, I do share them with friends on WhatsApp. I used to have a blog where I used to post them, but then
Then what? I'm excited because I would want to share that with my fellow Kenyans. I actually would want to see your content online. So, where is it?
Well, I'll send you a link to my blog. But though it's not updated because I last updated it like 2018, I think. Yeah, 2018 is when I posted my last piece. But other pieces are on I have my WhatsApp group on, and I'm the only person in there, so it's my stockroom.
Hey, look, Samie, this is my take. This is my take. Poetry seems to be bubbling from inside, so I don't see why you should just keep it to yourself. I mean, share it about. You never know. Imagine the number of people who get on stage and recite something from Maya Angelou. It could be reciting something from some Asiimwe. Why not? Why does it have to be Maya, who is now long gone? Why can't it be Samie?
Well, I can say there are some who have used my poems. Yeah, a couple of them. Like in 2018, there was some guy. He texted me asking for my permission to use one of my poems. He lives in. By then he was in Malaysia. Yeah. So there was this thing of commemoration. So he wanted to use one of my poems during the commemoration in Malaysia. I was like, oh, you got all the permission to use it. Just remember to credit me.
Of course. You see, now that's the good thing. When we use someone else's poems, the first thing we do is to credit them, and it's a great way for a creative to grow, because you wrote this, you took your time and created this beautiful words, well, probably painful words, but for someone to get on stage and say, written by Samie Asiimwe, you can imagine, hey, everyone in Rwanda will be dancing and they're waiting for, okay, now you better bring it out like Samie would, I don't know about Rwanda, but in Kenya, every year, first and second term, we actually have poetry in high school. You know, the music festivals and the drama festivals, and there's always poetry. But mostly we have poems from other countries. We don't even have, I mean, you rarely hear the English poems written by locals. Normally you hear them written by someone from, you know, UK. And I'm thinking, where is Samie? Where is Samie? We need to see Samie's stuff being, you know, paraded. You know, taking, you know, this probably this young fellow going to nationals because of you.
You guys in Kenya, you've taken everything to another level. Like, I have got some poet friends in Kenya. There is Rick's poet. I don't know if you know him. I met him in 2018. Yeah.
Yeah.
And actually, we shared the stage at some point that time when he was here, and I mean that was.
That's cool, man.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like Africa to Africa. You know, Kenyan and Rwandese. Oh, we say Rwandese, right? I got it.
Yes.
That we say Rwandese. Okay, good. Cool. I hate messing up the way people are supposed to be called, but it's a good thing. I'm imagining you. We got several poets here in Mombasa. Most of them, let me say, they're more inclined to spoken word than the real poem that we know that was written by the other guys. You know, that is so well arranged. I like spoken word because it has that, you know, it's free. It feels more
like
free.
And most of them, they are slammers. I can say. Of the Kenyans. Like there are some poets I know from Kenya, and okay, Kenya is big, like you said.
It is.
There's poet Mufasa.
Mufasa is very common here. Yeah, Mufasa is common.
He's one of my
that one is. It's a big guy. That's a big guy.
Yeah, and then there's this one, Teardrop, and
yes, also a big name here. Teardrop is big.
And there's this lady. Is it Emily Wairam or why? I'm forgetting about the name, but
I'll probably have to look up. Yeah.
Yeah, and then there's this one also. Is it Soldier? Sergeant Poet, something like that. Yeah, there are a couple of poets from there that are always for their content, and sometimes I get inspired, and then I also get to do something.
Ah, nice. Well, so tell me, how long have you been doing poetry?
I wrote my first, I can say my first poem in 2012. I was still in high school by then. Then back in years when I was in primary, we used to, recite poems, but they were not ours. And by then, I couldn't easily say that this is poem and it's done like this. But then, if something is in you, it will always find a way out. So it was in 2012 that I wrote my first poem. Then since then I started slowly writing. Then I could give small poems to my classmates, and they would love them. Sometimes they take them, I never get them back. And
that's a cruel one. Maya Kabisa, that is wrong. People need to respect creatives.
Well, by then I had I was still new in the game, so I didn't know how much to juggle with it. And then as time went on, I think in 2014, I met a friend from UK who introduced me to blogging and helped me to open my first blog. And then I started posting there a few of my poems. So I posted most of my poems. I posted them when I was in high school.
Okay.
And then when I went out of high school, now this time I was introduced to the leading spoken word platform in Rwanda, which is called Spoken Word Rwanda. It's when I had my first performance, and I still remember it well. It wasn't that easy, but then
a starter has to suffer,
Yeah. So since then, I've been on and off writing poems. Yeah, sometimes uh, I've seen myself going to different platforms doing my poetry, my theater. I always mix them.
Mm.
And then sometimes well, I think last year it's when I got my like a first big gig to do a poem. It was a wedding, a friend's wedding.
Woo.
So
Yeah.
yeah, then I did it, and then I continued with other things. So
That's a weird one. What are the other things? Don't worry, you can tell me later.
well, the other thing is that I started focusing on photography because I was seeing something there, you know,
Uh-huh.
and nowadays I find myself into photography, chasing pictures, creating
Yeah.
memories. So and
Mm.
then you find that slowly I get less time to write those poems, but then it doesn't mean that the source got dried up. It's still there, but it's covered, and I know at some point it will explode, because there's when I be like in the movie, be moving around, or maybe be doing my gigs, and then I have
Yeah.
like inspiration that I can need to write about something. And then when I start editing the pictures, I end up not, doing it. But I have, yeah. But then I've got, um, I've got some in the draft that very soon will be released. I have a friend.
Yeah.
We plan to work on a couple of poems, and then maybe uh, we release them because
Mm.
for him he's into writing so much, and
Yeah.
so we are trying to see how we can do some collaborations and do some work. We already have one which we are yet to record. It's just
Mm-hmm.
that we did it three. There's
Yeah.
another girl, but the guy seems to be so busy nowadays, and we can't
Yeah.
get time to record it. But as soon as we all get ready and available, we're going to record it, and then yeah, you guys, you're gonna share something.
Of course, I'm looking forward to that, and I really hope that the blog will come back up and we can see this on your YouTube channel. I mean, somewhere where it's important. I'm thinking you're pursuing photography, but your writing ability and your desire for poems has not come down. It hasn't gone down. Instead, you're kind of using photography to inspire yourself.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
the inspiration seems to bubble up from that, and I would totally
yeah,
understand. There are people who, once they walk out and they're in another event, you hear, "Oh, I got this idea from there," and the guy secludes himself and goes and writes something. So I wouldn't be surprised that you kind of digressed to photography, but I'm excited that your kind of work has. There's a friend of mine right here in Mombasa who has done more of what you're doing. Started in poetry, spoken word, theory, and then now he's in photography. So I was wondering, his name is Alex Haemba. He's called Palexi. If you're on Facebook, you'll find him, Palexi. And he's a big time in photography now. But interesting, once in a while you see him write, and I'm thinking, what's the similarity? I mean, is it a guy thing where you start with spoken word and then you go and do the photos? I don't know.
well,
Actually,
I can
when
tell
I
you,
when I saw your profile, I thought about that. So, what's the story?
well, like they're kind of connected because they're all art, and
Yes.
actually, when you're doing photography, you get exposed to different stories. You
Yes.
start
Mm-hmm.
seeing you start seeing world in different angles. Like the same
Mm-hmm.
way when you're taking pictures, there are different
Yes.
angles you take. So that's how you see things also.
Mm.
Um, then like, in that process of taking pictures and looking things at different angles. Now you start having different, mindset. You start thinking about things in different ways. Like, what if this was like this or was like that? If I can see it like this, can my friend see it like this? Or what if I introduce my point of view to someone, but through this form of, communication? That's actually makes us go that way.
It's interesting because this is how I look at poetry. That you're painting a picture using words. However, when you come to photography, you actually bring in the picture, the real picture. And I'm thinking, I am not surprised that a poet or someone who's been doing spoken word for the longest time in their lives easily walks into photography and conquers the field as though, like he's the only soldier in the world, because it's funny, you now get the picture in real, and then all along you had the picture in words, and you really hope and pray that whatever you're saying when you're doing your spoken word, that people can get the picture. This time you bring them the picture, it's like, okay, this is what I'm talking about, folks. This is what I'm talking about. It's perfect. I like the idea because to me, it seems like it's something inborn. It's not something you learn in school. It seems like it just bubbles up from within. It seems like it comes from the deep of your heart. Which leads me to ask, what's your take on using talents? I'm big in talents. I love people who, in Africa, I just love the idea that Africans are the most talented people in the world. So meeting poets, I'm like, yay, yet another one. I know. it's a good thing. So if you look at my website, finewealth.me, I only talk about talents. My focus is on getting the talents to, be converted to finances. Like it should be a business. It should not be a by the way. So I'm curious, what's your take on how we handle talents, especially here in Africa?
Well, my take on this, I think in arts industry, there is imbalance. Most of our society, they think that the arts that actually deserves to have like a wider platform is singing, like as you've seen.
I know, right?
Singing,
That's unfair. Yeah.
Singing has taken almost every part. I mean, the biggest part of the artistic industry. But then you find that like the poets, there are few who do it and they earn a living from it, and yet actually, if I can say, poetry can be the mother of actually music, because it's lyrics, right? It's lyrics,
very true.
But what makes it different is the form of it, the way we give out, the message. You find that the society is interested in things that will make them, dance, have these instruments that have beats, different, instrumentals, but then they don't know that actually when you sit and listen to a poem, is deep, and it has a message. You might even have like sometimes I like doing my poetry when I have like an instrumental in the background. First connect the audience with actually so, and most of the time I enjoy using the violin, because there's how violin hits, this way it hits and you get connected, go straight to the soul. So you find that they don't give much value to poetry the way it should be given, and the platforms, well, few places they've created bigger platforms for poets, like in Kenya. Sometimes I used to follow them, and there are poets in Kenya. They're really working, and even in South Africa, yeah, they've created some, like when you go on YouTube, much content that you're going to get from here, those that are either in South Africa, in Kenya, and then in Western Africa also, sometimes in Nigeria and Ghana. But then when you go deep, you find that actually those poets that have got such contents, they actually don't live here in Africa. Some of them,
I know, right?
they're in Western countries.
Yeah. Where are we going wrong then? Where is Africa going wrong? Why are we selling out our poets? Why are we selling out the best of the talent? Why do you think they're going out? What's going wrong?
Not believing them and valuing the work, And another thing, they haven't maybe give it time to test it and listen to it, like they only like I can say like they became more slaves of music than other forms of art. Most of the society, they are into music and these things that make noise, make them move and dance, but then they don't give much time to listen to what the message actually that is behind poetry. Because I know, like, some people always say that poets are philosophers.
Yeah, well, to some extent, to a large extent, they are.
Yeah, because sometimes you write a piece depending on things that you are observing in your society, and then you try to say it out, not directly but indirectly, and then time comes, and then you find actually there are things that they're happening.
They have, yes.
Yeah, so that's why sometimes they say we are philosophers, because we see things earlier and we try to give them out, but then
someone else is too interested in the beat than listening to the poets.
Yeah, like I like the way how there's this guy called Prince Ie.
The guy has done he's broken the entire education system among other things, and it's something, it caught us off guard. However, this is funny that we are more interested in Prince EA than we are interested in Samie, who is our own. Sorry, no offense.
No offense.
No offense.
That's the reality, and you have to accept the reality. And but then we also need to work hard, though it's not that much easy. But then I need to now that I'm into this field of photography, that means I need to get like more tools, and now I need to start producing myself. I don't need to look for a producer to give up myself.
You have the equipment.
Now I need to start, recording myself, edit it, learn how to edit, and yeah, that's it. I think one of these days, there is a poem. I have a video of it. Actually, it was live recorded. It's one of my, I can say, one of my favorite poems. It's called I'm Asiimwe, and I think I need to edit something. There's something that is missing, but then somehow put it on YouTube and maybe share a little bit of it. But the audio is done. I have it. I've shared it on WhatsApps, and But the video now, this time I need to also start doing the video, and actually, I'm glad I've got a few friends who've seen something in me, and they're like, you know what? Your next poem or any poem you want to do, I'm sponsoring the video of it and directing. Like, okay, I love that. I have two friends actually who've offered me that. What's remaining to just implement it. I'm still judging on which one to give out. Yeah. So that's how it's been doing.
I think when we look at the economy, and this is something I'd want to hear your opinion, the economy of Africa, well, if we lean towards poetry and we lean towards asking, can poets in Africa make a living out of poetry? Because I mean, this is something they have. This is not something that can be taken away from them. No matter how much you beat a poet, they'll never forget the poetry. You can't remove it from them. It's in them.
Yeah.
So the question is, how do we make sure in Africa, now that we have so many poets and you one being of them, how do we make sure that that you are able to earn a living? I mean, as you just mentioned, Prince EA, I'm sure he's making something and he's making it big out of poetry. Otherwise, we wouldn't have heard of him, you know.
Yeah.
And you ask yourself, what can we do? What can we do to the likes of Samie, the likes of my friend here, Palexi? What can we do to make sure that African poets actually are able to make a living out of poetry? What do you think we should do? I mean, taking yourself, you're already a photographer and you're a poet already. So I think you already have the packaging to some extent. What do you think is missing?
Well, the society needs to, to change on their menu of things I can say menu, because on menu always there's a variety of dishes. So they need to change a little bit and give time and listen to, poetry. And another thing, they need to value the work of poets, because they think that poetry, you sit down and just write, but they don't know how much time you give it, because if I'm going to write a poem, that means I first put myself in position of the piece or the message.
Yeah.
I first portray it to myself, and then if that thing actually speaks to my feelings and to my emotions, and now I know that actually someone else who is also a human being like me is going to receive it that way. They need also to vary it, because like there's when someone's like, yo, you know what, I have maybe a wedding and I would love to have, a poem. And I'm like, okay, so are you ready to maybe provide something? And it's like, and it's something you do every day. That's your thing. It's like, yeah, it's my thing. But then
that hurts.
I need to use my thing and put a bread on table, But then,
which means someone is not willing to pay for what is inborn, because they see it just bubbles out of you. It's a well. It's not going to go right by you performing one day. I mean, in Kenya, we would say, haitakuwa, you will not die. if you say one today, you won't die. It's interesting that we have a lot of people not appreciating what a poet does when they stand on stage or they go for a wedding and do this performance. They fail to realize there's that part where the community does not realize that it actually took you time to practice, to get the words down, to be fluent, to actually coordinate it all the way. And then you've got to capture everybody's attention by how you not only say it, but even the way you do it. There is that part where sensitization hasn't been done very well. But, and this is where I get to bash you as a poet. This is where I get to take a cane on you. That it is not the work of the society to love your work. It is your work as a poet, Samie. Yes, to make them fall in love with what you say. Because think about it. I write, but I don't write. I hardly write poetry. I write. It is my business to make sure that people are visiting my website and reading my content. The society for me is the entire world, although my focus is Africa. It is my business to make sure that the entire Africa gets to see. How do I draw all the traffic in Google talking about someone who is searching about inborn talent? How do I make sure that the only website they see is mine? It's the same thing. I may have to pay for it. I may have to pay, to get that optimization done. Now, in your case as a poet, it is totally your business. Samie, unfortunately, I'm going to bash you on this one. It is 100% and your business to make sure that we, the community, we eat what is in your menu, yours, not the singer's menu, not the film's menu. I mean, not everybody's menu, but Samie's menu. Why should I go to Prince EA's menu and eat there, and you are also a poet like him? Why should I choose another guy? Actually, now let me go just nuts here. He's your skin color. He's as good looking as you are, and then I go watch him, but I don't watch you. So you see, I do feel that African poets need to get louder.
Yeah,
Pass,
yes.
as it's your burden to carry.
Yeah, and another thing we need to, to collaborate. Recently, there's this guy. He's also a poet, but nowadays he's also into filmmaking. He's a Kenyan. He's a Kenyan. He's called.
I'm curious.
He's called Stan.
Okay.
I don't know. Yeah.
I have to Google. I'm not sure who that is, but okay.
Back in years, he used to live here in Rwanda, and he was doing poetic films. But then he had to go back to Kenya. He's also in Nairobi. He had started like a movement for connect. Like East Africa and the neighboring. Actually, his vision was to conquer the whole of Africa. To connect poets in almost every in
every corner of Africa.
Yeah, so he wanted to have like such a movement. You can check on Instagram. His page is called Mind Arts Africa, I think. Yeah.
I'll check him out.
Yeah, he had started that thing, but then as artists, there's when you reach along the way, and then you branch a bit. But I know that thing is still in there because he had started, producing videos for poets, giving out on even on YouTube there are some. But most of them they are the Kenyans, in the region where he is.
Yeah.
And then there is one girl from Rwanda who happened to be in Kenya for once in a while, and then they recorded some, though they haven't uploaded it, but I know they have it in the store. And well, maybe me too, when I happen to visit Nairobi, I will get share my work with Kenyans, and then he brought some poets here.
Yeah.
Came here. They had like a session interacting with some of our poets here. I mean, it was good. We met different artists. I've made friends who make theater performances, those who sing. Like there's this lady called Stella. Yeah. And then there's Gladys Mwende. I think, yeah. She does most of them. She always do monologues, and man, they are real good. They are real. This when someone is performing, if like the moment they start, it's like you're in their mind. They move like this. You find you're also moving. They,
Nice. Yeah, I can imagine.
That's who Gladys is, and so the collaboration will also help poets, move to another level.